Can you imagine how our urban environments would look like if we back nature into them? Don't you think that this way we would foster public space and encourage people to meet in the open and make a difference with their presence? What if we construct an open system of networks and open spaces, each with different character, but at the same time singular? Well, this is what some of the issues I brought up in an exhibition I had in New York in late 2019, just before the pandemic, while showcasing some of the visions and projects there that we've been lately working. We tried in a way to come up or juxtapose them with the urban conditions of New York City. Now, this is Tetovo, the town I was born and raised, about 40 kilometers away from here. We've been world champions until a while ago, when Tetovo was beating most of the cities with its severe pollution. Now, citizens and most loudly my friends from Eco Guerrilla, a local NGO, did a remarkable job in forcing an old industrial compound to shut down, and hence lowering the air pollution by almost 60%. But is this enough? Are there other ways to uplift people's lives in our cities? We have these breathtaking mountains around our city and around all of our country. Can't we just find a way to pour this beauty downwards? I deeply believe that implementing this criteria of bringing back or the return of nature to our city and creating a balance between the natural and the urban environment can become a new paradigm in urban planning and create conditions for sustainable development of our future cities. Now, when we think of future cities, I'm sure that you are presented with a picture like this from a sci-fi movie. Well, I hope that we do not have such a dark future, as there are much brighter and more humane visions, like in the case of the vision for Paris 2050. Now, cities are often compared to living organisms, and just like living organisms, they evolve and adapt in order to survive in our ever-changing world. I came across this book by Brent Ryan, who in his manifesto on urban development of cities concludes that urban planners and those who deal with the problems of cities must accept that change is eternal, incompletion is inevitable, and fidelity has to be flexible. The concept of bringing back nature to our cities should be based on preservation, of course, but also detection of urban pockets, these free spaces that would generate new public spaces. We cannot find large free spaces in our cities, so in order to turn into parks and gardens, so by injecting small parks, many of them, I think it should be the way to go. More like an urban acupuncture, a widely known practice propagated by architect and planner and mayor of Curitiba in Brazil, Mr. Lerner. But in our case, this should be more of a green urban acupuncture rather. Just as the practice of acupuncture is aimed at relieving stress from our body, the goal of the green urban acupuncture would be to relieve stress in our built environment. Now, bringing back to nature to our urban environment through these pockets and small parks, where residents shouldn't have to walk more than 5 minutes in order to reach them, would be a goal I think that we can all achieve. I'll try to illustrate two projects that we've been doing in respect to this, together with my colleagues at BMA, the studio that the architecture and design studio I'm leading here in Skopje. We are turning 10 this summer, and it took us quite some time to realize some of the ideas and that we have. As you know, architecture tends to be slow. Our spectrum of work touches different fields of architecture and design. A lot of our projects have a very intense relation with the public realm, as most of them actually came out of competitions, and some are collaborations with other studios. Working with competitions has been more of an obligation to act, I think, a social responsibility for us architects to contribute to the greater benefit. We're glad that we have been recognized for what we do. We are among the youngest to have received the National Annual Architecture Award from our president in 2020. We are getting international recognition also by being nominated with our projects for the Mies van der Rohe Award, the Aga Khan Award for Architecture, and most recently the Building of the Year Award from Archdaily. Now I'll start with a project not very far away from here. The Mavrovka shopping center is situated and connects two historical sites of Skopje, a place where the old and new merge and coexist. The building touches this ring of the central area, and with its recognizable and iconic it's quite recognizable with its iconic silhouette. It was a huge hit and an attractive destination when it was opened in the early 1990s, but today is far from desirable. Its flat roof, the plateau between the two towers, is inaccessible to people and has never been active with content. We were asked by the owners and tenants to, in a way, bring a fresh breath of air to this, shall I say, part of the city, and we proposed to inject an eco-upgrade to the old roof terrace by inserting a spacious and lush public garden. The barcode concept, the green barcode concept, is quite literal, I would say, the marriage of commerce with greenery, but in essence it follows the grid of the existing building. So it's a linear organization and a landscape of surfaces with alternating placements of greenery, pavement, and water surfaces. The green roof offers a layered content such as event spaces, children's area, places with different types of greenery, water surfaces, and planted urban equipment such as pavilions and canopies and structural settings, but that with their design do not compete with the greenery. This open and flexible space can be treated as a new neighborhood park for the surrounding residents, a place for the people who want to make a break, a place for retreat and, let's say, meditation, and a new territory for the young ones to explore, and definitely a destination for relaxation, gathering, play, and learn. The project is still on paper, but hopefully one of these days we'll start construction. Now, coming back to my hometown, you cannot see much green pockets, do you? Now, unfortunately, going green is not really trendy there. This is how the municipality treats greenery while renovating a city street in the city center. I hear them arguing that they will plant new trees, and when they grow, they will get older than the old ones. So, well, we continue with the second project I wanted to share with you today. Actually, before that, I surprisingly, you can find the examples like this private developer who seems to have taken quite good care of the tree while extending his building. It's not my design, by the way. Yeah, well, we continue with the second project I wanted to share with you. A few years ago, we were asked by a private donor with a limited budget to redesign an abandoned park next to a very, very prominent location in Tetovo, the Painted Mosque of Tetovo. It's unlike any other mosque in the world, although it's quite modest in its presence, and it's a heritage site. But the space around this is totally neglected. You will agree that these shameful pictures in front of such a jewel shouldn't be there. And also by night, it's terrifying walking there. So our proposal was quite straightforward. Initially, we cleared the whole area from any structures, leaving the trees intact. And then working with the locals, we identified the routes that find the shortest path around, but of course going through trees. Then we defined the walkways with the same material as used in the pavement of the mosque. And finally, we were very careful to plant, in a way, various urban equipment like benches and trash bins and pavilions, so that they blend in the surrounding and don't compete with the greenery, but also, very importantly, with the views towards the mosque. We have a few more details to finish before the project is done. But it has really been challenging for us to intervene in such a setting. These are some of the images, not from quite a while ago, quite recently actually. Although it's, like I said, technically a construction site, people, especially in the younger ones, have already started using it. I keep receiving photos from friends and enthusiasts. They are shown here. Well, to wrap it up, I deeply believe in the power of design and its ability to enable people to enjoy a quality and healthier life, and in a clean and green city with a rational use of resources. These interventions open new possibilities for the use of existing and abandoned public spaces in our cities, and places where the integration of architecture, landscape, and various activities enable the creation of a new, socially sustainable urban experience. Thank you.